Hello everybody, and welcome to a different kind of video today. So, today we have, back about a month and a half ago, I made a video what I think the NASCAR 2022 schedule might be, and I tried to make it realistic. It wasn't very realistic, to be honest, with some of the tracks that were on there. This is a fantasy schedule. I used the 2023 calendar for it, the calendar year. And yes, this is unrealistic as possible, most likely. And okay, it could happen someday, but probably not even close to 2023. It might be long after, to be honest. And some of these races might not ever happen. But anyways, yeah, before we get into the video, make sure to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss an upload by me. Like the video so I could, so the YouTube algorithm notices and chooses me. And let's get straight into the video. Okay, so to start off, we're going to divide the video up into 3 different parts. Points races in the regular season, points races in the playoffs, and then exhibition non-points paying races. So, yeah, the Clash and all of that, the All-Star race, they won't be featured till the end of the video. Starting off normally here, like every schedule ever, after 1980, I think, we are going to have the Daytona 500, of course, 500 miles, 200 laps, Daytona Beach, Florida, February 19th at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. That is 10 a.m. Pacific Time, in case you were wondering and you live in California or something. This probably won't happen because of the way NASCAR works nowadays, but yeah, earlier start times would be beautiful too. That'll also be something you'll notice, except for at night races and West Coast races for, East Coast people. Race number 2, just like 2021, is also going to be on a road course. However, it's going to start the West Coast swing, as in week 2 of the season we head to Sonoma Raceway on February 26th. This will be a 3 p.m. start time, 110 laps on the 2018 edition of the layout. So, the default layout, the 2018 and prior, without the carousel, because I think that's the better layout, and I think a lot of people agree with me. Race 3 of the season will be at Las Vegas Motor Speedway on March 4th, and it will be a night race on a Saturday night, under the lights, obviously. 267 laps, 400 miles. And yeah, start time will be 5 p.m. Eastern, or Pacific time, so that way the Eastern viewers started at 8, and it's not too late for them. So we got to compromise here for the West Coast races that are at night. The West Coast swing continues on in race number 4. It will be at Phoenix for a 300-lap, 300-mile race at 3 p.m. Eastern Time on March 12th. For race number 5, we have the Auto Club Speedway short track, the new layout they are doing for, I think for 2023 it's going to debut. I think they pushed it back a year. But yes, that will be a day race, since I don't know if there's going to be lights there, but it will be 400 laps starting at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, finishing off the West Coast swing. The race will be held on March 19th. On March 26th, we head from the west to the east in Bristol Motor Speedway, not on the dirt. I want to remove the Bristol dirt race and move it to a track, either take out the dirt or move it away to a official dirt circuit, and not just throwing dirt over Bristol, although I thought that worked. I want normal Bristol back, so on March 26th, we'll do our classic 500-lap race at the Bristol Motor Speedway on the paved racetrack during the day, under sunlight. On April the 2nd, we have our first true new circuit and new addition to the 2023 calendar. The Nashville Fairgrounds will host a race on April 2nd. It's the only Nashville Fairgrounds race of the year. And yeah, this will most likely be, I believe, a 300 or 400 lap race. And it will be at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Easter's April 9th of 2023. So on April 16th, we will head to COTA, Circuit of the Americas, for the second road course race of the year following Sonoma. And yeah, this race will be however many laps it was this year. I think that was 56. I kind of forget, but same amount of laps as it was this year. And hopefully there won't be any rain for that race. On April 23rd, we have the best race of the year, the Geico 500, or whatever it might be called then, at Talladega Superspeedway. 188 laps, 500 miles, the same as usual. And, I mean, yeah, what else is there to say? Talladega, final week of April, like it normally is. Correction, it's about 1 or 2 days short of being the final week of April. Dover, on April 30th, will finish off the month of April for a 300-lap, 300-mile race at the 1-mile concrete oval. What I believe the second night race of the season will be Richmond on May 6th under the lights, 7 p.m. Eastern Time start. And this race will also be 300 laps, 100 laps shorter from what it currently is, just like Dover. Pretty much because both Dover and Richmond are not very good. So, you want to cut down on the laps if you can. Here's where things start to change dramatically, I'd say, if they haven't already. Indianapolis on the road course will host a race on May the 14th in a doubleheader weekend with IndyCar, since that is when their Indianapolis Grand Prix normally takes place 2 weeks before the Indy 500. This will be obviously a day race, as Indy does not have lights, I don't believe. So 1 p.m. start time, unless it's conflicting with IndyCar or something and they have to push it back. On May 21st, we have an interesting change. In a way, a doubleheader at Charlotte, as they will set up the Roval configuration on May 21st and run a race on the Roval. And following that, on May 28th, Memorial Day, the night race at 6 p.m. Eastern Time from the Charlotte Oval. I believe the Roval should also be a night race if they possibly can at 7 p.m. Next up, a track that I am totally not biased against and want on the NASCAR schedule at all costs, Circuit Gilles-Villeneuve. I think that's the correct pronunciation, correct me if I am wrong, but pretty much Montreal. So a Canadian race in NASCAR would be interesting to see. This would take place on June 4th at 1 p.m. as obviously the track does not have lights. It would be nice to see that, I can hope. This is where things really get, I'd say, unrealistic. We're staying in Canada, and we are staying road racing. We are going to the Canadian Tire Motorsports Park on June 11th at a 1 p.m. start time race. Oh boy, back-to-back road courses out of the country. Close to the country, but still out of the country, which is crazy. Next week in June, on the 17th and 18th, it's the Pocono doubleheader, both races with a 3 p.m. start time due to the Trucks and Xfinity happening before the 2 Cup races on the race days. I'm not biased or anything. It's not like it's my home track and I just want to see more races there or anything, which is why I'm keeping the doubleheader at a track I genuinely don't enjoy watching races on TV. Both Pocono races will be 130 laps. I believe the second one was 140, or was it 120, the first one? I forget. But they will both be 130 laps because I feel that shorter distance really made that final stage absolutely amazing. This is probably the most unrealistic thing, other than maybe one thing in the exhibition races section. On June 25th, we head to Michigan. Now, that's perfectly normal. In fact, we head to Michigan normally in past seasons every June anyways. What makes it unrealistic is we're going to let the Cup cars run a race there every year. And when this track needs a repave, we're going to do the Atlanta thing and increase the banking in the corners, keep the track about just as wide as it is, and run the super speedway package at it to get some pack racing. There will be, I believe, only one race, however, at Michigan per year. because, the cost is probably insane to run a super speedway race and crash like 50 cars. On July 1st, we bring back pretty much the one tradition I think should have never changed. Daytona, under the lights, on a Saturday night, 7 p.m. start time on the 4th of July weekend. The greatest tradition ever in NASCAR, if you ask me. 160 laps, 400 miles. There's nothing else to say about this other than I'm doing the right thing here. Another night race coming up, 7 p.m. Eastern Time start on July 8th, Saturday night. We will have Kansas. Personally, probably one of my top 3 favorite tracks in NASCAR, and certainly my favorite intermediate track in the sport. This race will be 267 laps and 400 miles at the Kansas Motor Speedway. Under the lights, Saturday night, and yeah. Now, the Indianapolis road course was also on the schedule, but I want to race on the Indianapolis Oval since I love that track as well. I find it, in recent years, the finishes have been amazing at Indy, just spectacular, and I've loved every race at Indy since about 2016, 2015, 14. Since 2014, I've loved every race at Indy, really. So, on July 16th, daytime race, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, start at Indianapolis Motor Speedway on the Oval. New Hampshire stays about where it normally is. July 23rd, daytime race, 1 p.m. Eastern start time, just like pretty much every race. That's day and not on the West Coast or interfering with some other league on the same track. So yeah, New Hampshire, 301 laps like it normally is. I don't know why they do 301 and not just 300, but it's interesting. And now, after a week off in the summer to end July, on August 6th, we head to Watkins Glen, personally my favorite road course. The closest road course to my house as well, which might also help, although I've never actually been there. But Watkins Glen, very fun track, 2.5 mile long road course, 90 laps as always, 1 p.m. start time. If I don't say the start time and I say it's a day race from now on, they're all at 1 p.m., just saying that. So, yes, Watkins Glen on August 6th. So, in the middle of this East Coast swing, which started back in Indianapolis and has gone through New Hampshire and Watkins Glen, we have Road America, the second road course in a row, August 13th, for 62 laps. And pretty much ending off what I believe would also be considered East Coast, we have the Bristol night race, August 19th, under the lights, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And this, I guess, could be considered a crown jewel race. I'd certainly put it as one if I had the option. 500 laps, under the lights at Bristol. Oh boy, this is certainly my favorite race of the year normally. The playoffs will be 7 races, and they are also changing. No rounds. 7 races, get as many points as you can. Whoever has the most points of the 12 drivers who make it is champion, and there will also be, for spots 11 and 12, that wild card thing from the old playoffs where the 2 drivers with the most wins outside the top 10 in points make it. Anybody in the top 10 points also make it in. The playoffs will start with a 260-lap, 400-mile race at the Atlanta Motor Speedway on the new Super Speedway edition of Atlanta that they are currently in the process of making now as I speak. Labor Day in 2023, I looked it up. It is September 4th, meaning September 3rd, under the lights at 6 p.m. is the Southern 500 at Darlington. Race number 2 of the playoffs. And still on the same weekend, it really has been, other than, I believe in 2014 they changed it. I'm not sure if any other weeks they did, but they might have. Or other seasons, but yeah. North Wilkesboro on September 10th will be the race after Darlington. And I'm thinking a double throwback weekend. Darlington will be a, Gen 4, Gen 5 throwback sort of deal going on there. So recent throwback. North Wilkesboro will be a throwback to the roots of NASCAR, like how it began back in the 50s and 60s and early 70s and even part of the 80s, I guess, as well. The race will be 350 laps, I'm thinking, and will also be a day race. So we had North Wilkesboro, a track that everybody wants on the schedule. Literally nobody doesn't, because it's going to be awesome. September 17th, a bit early based on what it normally is, but the schedule also ends early. And we get a longer off season with some special events coming up, though, on September 17th. 188 laps. When I say that, almost anybody who knows the lap lengths of NASCAR will know what race this is. It is the Talladega playoff race on September 17th again. So, day race, obviously, because there's no lights on the backstretch at Talladega, so has to be under the daylight. I don't know how this is going to work. I don't even know if NASCARs could go through the corkscrew. But September 24th, in the middle of the playoffs, we're going to just randomly put Laguna Seca, Monster Raceway Laguna Seca, or is it WeatherTech Raceway? I forget what it's currently sponsored by. But anyways, this is going to be one hell of an exciting race. I mean, I love Laguna Seca, to be completely honest. It's a great track to drive. I haven't seen many races here. I think I've seen one IndyCar race on TV, and that's about it. And I've seen some highlights, but Laguna Seca is a fun track. The penultimate race of the season, and the only road course that has two races in the same season that I can actually ever think of. The Charlotte Roval will be held on October 1st in the second to last race of the year for another 110 lap race. This one, unlike the May race, if possible, will be a day race at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. All leading up to the season finale. What have I made it? The season finale will be held on October 8th, 1 p.m. Eastern Time at the Kansas Motor Speedway. You know, I didn't add Homestead on the calendar. People might be angry with me, but this is my dream calendar. And to be honest, I don't like Homestead at all. I love the fact that tires are such a big role in it and the line changes up a lot, but I don't really like the racing product on track. It's really just only strategy that makes it a decent race to watch, if you ask me. Even the restarts, I always feel, are kind of boring, except for with this package, because there's no boring restart with the 550 high downforce package. Anyways, Kansas for 267 laps and 400 miles will end off the 2023 fantasy season I have made. However, because of a longer postseason, this is not the final race, only the final points race in the championship battle. Which brings us to the next section. Here we are for the special races, the exhibition non-points paying races section. And on February 14th, obviously, will be the Clash at Daytona Road Course. 30 laps, so 5 laps shorter than what it currently is. But yes, still a good length, but not too short so that it's, just kind of a sprint. It's got an endurance aspect to it, but it's not long. And not even as long as it currently is. So yes, that will be the Clash. And then on the 16th, we will have the Daytona Duels. Both events will be 7 p.m. start times except for the Duels. Duel 1 will be at 6 p.m., Duel 2 at 8. This is simply because the Duels are on a school night, and I know from experience that kids who are NASCAR fans cannot watch the second race oftentimes because it runs very late. You might have noticed a break in the final week of July that I actually mentioned. This is not where the All-Star race is. The All-Star race is in between the Charlotte Roval race and the Coca-Cola 600 on May 24th, a Wednesday night event under the lights, 7 p.m. Eastern Time start, with the showdown, or whatever they call it, the Monster Energy Open, being at 4 p.m. Eastern Time and qualifying being at 5:30. That is not the last non-points paying race of the year. After the season ends in December, on December 3rd specifically, NASCAR returns to Japan, and they will head to Suzuka Circuit to Unlike back in the day, I believe, when I think they only ran the short circuit through the S's, they will be running the full circuit, which could be a bad idea, to be completely honest. Might get strung out, but yes, special event, full circuit. Don't really have an amount of laps set. I'll put it up on screen when I go through editing in all the pictures and stuff for this video, but yeah. And then on December 10th, we head to Motegi. And what I'm thinking is no points awarded for the regular season, but there will be like exhibition points races or exhibition race points. And whoever has the most points at the end of it will win cash. And, well, this cash could help you improve simply. So, I mean, yeah, this could certainly help drivers out because, 2 road courses on there, you never know. Some of the smaller teams might help if they have road course ringers and stuff like that. To say the least, my schedule is crazy. And if you have a schedule and you want to tell me what you want to see in the future, you could go down in the comments below and post, your exhibition races, your regular season races, what your playoffs would be like, and everything like that. And you could also tell me several reasons why this schedule would never happen in a million years, or if it might someday. Won't happen in 2023. That is 100% for sure, but who knows? By the 2030s or 2040s, this could be, something we see. Anyways, make sure to like and subscribe. Tell me what you think down below in the comments, and I will see you in the next video, which I am genuinely hoping, is a stop motion video for you all. So have a nice day, and goodbye.